This is an open meeting under section 19.81 to 19.98 of the Wisconsin State Statutes. You have last month's meeting minutes in front of you. Any need for corrections? Anyone?
Nope.
I'd look for a motion to approve them. Motion by Joe, second by Ken. All in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Monthly staff reports.
As usual, we have your report in there. Just some quick observations for you. Preschool numbers are down from a year ago. We didn't have a daddy-daughter dance. Pee-wee basketball's down, dance was down. Good news is the adult activities were up. We had 100 more registrations in community choir this year than we did last. Fitness, miscellaneous, and Signacast pool all those numbers are up. And then memberships were down. I don't have a rhyme or reason for the memberships. I don't know, Sarah, if you had happened to notice, okay.
Any more specific questions for Randy on the staff report? All right. Any communication or correspondence come in since?
Nope.
Okay. Under appearances of public comments, we have Ron Schnorberg here. Thank you, Ron. The podium is yours.
Okay, I'm Ron Schnorberg, the post commander of VFW 8834. I just want to take this opportunity to let you know how much the veterans appreciate the use of Sawyer Park. And for maybe one or two of you that might not know the history of it, I want to just quickly run through that. Like in 2017, you gave us approval to dig 70 holes in there for the sleeves to the flag poles. The post has collected coffin flags from deceased veterans, and each coffin flag has embroidered the name of the veteran, the branch they were in, and where they served. So now we were able to display that at the park. Then in 2018, the Women's Club donated a message center in front of that walkway, and that parking lot was completed. So then next year, we were able to install 12 more holes in that area to make it a total of over 80 flags that we display on special holidays and special events. There also was a tree that the commission approved to be planted there, part of that Warrior Journey Home, that witness tree that we presently do at the firehouse. So one day we might be using that at the park too. And then in 2019, we got permission to install a shed there to store the flags and the poles. So we really appreciate all that. This year, like other years, we got pretty much publicity on that park, or I should say Hartford did. The Daily News had articles in it, the State VFW had pictures, and also the online thing, what is it called? Oh, the Washington County Insider had stuff on there. Every year, Lauren asked me to write up a report on how much we used the park, and it was considerably used a lot more this year. I noticed that the American Legion Post 19, the United Vietnam Vets of Hartford, and our post, of course, really took interest in that park, along with the people that do the witness tree. So if you tally up all the numbers, we had over 385 people that used that park in the 9 events that we had. Not to mention all the loved ones that toured the pathways and looked for their loved ones in the park there. I was hoping that Charlie was here. I'd like to compliment him, congratulate him on his retirement, and compliment the crew on the work they do in the cemeteries. We put the flags out every year, and it's just amazing how well they keep those cemeteries and how much help they give us when we're trying to locate some of the graves. So we really appreciate that. In turn, we donated money to finance a swing set that'll be put up there pretty soon up at the park, and to show our appreciation towards that. Special thanks also goes out to Ralph Kepler. He's the one that's maintaining the flower beds. I even saw him edging the sidewalk there. He just is obsessed in keeping that entire park in tip-top shape, so we want to recognize that too. And I want to offer the post assistance in anything you need to maintain those other flags that the scouts had put up. There's 7 flags there, and I know it's an effort to keep all those flags in order. I don't know how many Hartford residents realize that the Park Commission also is responsible for all the other flags in the city and how you have to keep them up with strong winds and all that stuff. In saying that, I must admit though, Brian Worth and I have been in communication because Independence Park, which has 17 athletic fields, does not have a single flag in sight. So I hope you can support any ideas that Brian comes up with so we can get a flag out there at Independence Park. So in turn, I just want to thank you once again for the working relationship we have. And I have a schedule of the display of Avenue flags next year. Let your relatives and all the town people know about it. And also the report that I had given Lauren in case you guys want to pass that on. So thank you very much.
Commissioners, anything for Mr. Snorenberg?
Well, I'd like to say, Ron, you're thanking us. I think we need to thank you, right? So thanks for all your hard work and thank you for doing that. Really, God bless you. Yep.
Thank you, Ron. We have no old business under new business administration. Let's talk about February's meeting date.
So our usual meeting date of the first Wednesday of the month in February falls during the Wisconsin Park and Rec Association Annual State Conference, which myself and the staff will be attending. So we're asking that we postpone February's meeting from the 1st to the following Wednesday on the 8th, if that works out for everyone.
All right, so I'd suggest we not take any action or do anything on that formally tonight. Let's since Kate and Scott are missing.
Sure.
So let's all go home, check our calendars, and then correspond via email tomorrow. And let us,
I can send out an email reminder.
okay?
Just remember to reply
Let's reply to all.
individually. No, not reply all,
Okay?
correct? We don't want to reply all.
Right. Right, just a quick note on that. I have a county board meeting second Wednesday of every month, but just,
Okay.
I mean, I'm just one person, so I'm sure you can.
All right, so we have one out for sure.
Yes.
And we have, in the past, on occasion, had to move it even to the third
Okay. That would work
Wednesday,
for me.
But let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yep.
With that email vote.
And the following Wednesday was just a suggestion, keep
Yep.
it consistent with the date, so.
Yep. All right, Centennial Park update.
We had a pre-construction meeting in December with myself, city engineer John Griffin, and the contractor. Attached, you'll find 2 separate timelines, one from Wandra Construction. That's the first sheet, and that shows an overall timeline for park construction. And then the second sheet is from Design to Construct, and they are heading up the pavilion construction project. So that's a separate timeline. Obviously, they'll be working hand in hand. Both were represented at the pre-construction meeting. So it's exciting to kind of have some goals, a timeline in mind there, to see what progress will be made and when it will be made this summer.
Any questions for Randy?
So Randy, they're looking to basically have that wrapped up by late July?
The pavilion, yes.
Okay.
October for the rest.
Yeah, and the overall project would be October.
October?
Yes.
That's a lot. That's faster than I thought. I didn't think they'd get that in this year.
Yeah, I mean, with the delays and everything we've had there, everyone's confident that they can, follow that timeline. Again, even in regular times, I'm sure you understand how that can go, where delays can happen, whether
Yeah.
it's weather and other abnormalities. But, we're hoping to see a finished product by the end of the park season next year.
Were we looking to do anything with like any planned events in, you know, like late October? The thing that jumps out at me always was like an Oktoberfest or something like that. You think that's just probably too tight this year?
So I haven't had any even informal discussions, thoughts on that. You know, as we get to Memorial Day and past then to see where the progress
Yep.
is at, if it makes sense, then yes. But this is something that we're going to want to do right and we want to do big.
Yep,
So it might be the beginning of the 24
Yep.
park season, but we'll see how things progress.
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, Labor Day, you probably have a good sense of it by then. Yeah, nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? All right, Charlie Cook's retirement.
Charlie Cook, a longtime member of the Parks crew, announced his retirement to us, I believe it was late November, with his retirement officially being on January 13th, being his last day. Charlie's been with the city, I want to say 18 years, and then the Parks Department itself for well over a decade. Charlie is he's a very skilled machine operator. He's got his fingers on the pulse of the community. He always knows what's happening. You know, a story that kind of sums up Charlie is when the tree in Westside Park, the willow, when that went down, Charlie just happened to be across the street, and he went and he punched in, and he got to work right away. That just happens to be how Charlie is. He's going to be missed. He cares about the city. You know, he cares about the work that he does. I know it's not been an easy decision for him, but I've been encouraging him. Hey, if you got the financial means to be able to retire and enjoy your life, and I know he's got family up in Alaska and he likes to make that trip, so we're happy for him. With that, we did open up the position. We had over 120 applicants for his position. And then we narrowed that down to 5 very capable candidates that we interviewed. And myself, Brian Worth, along with Daryl Kranz, all 3 of us said any of those 5 individuals would have been a good choice for that position. We offered and got accepted by Kurt Rathke, who lives in West Bend. He has formerly worked for Lawford Trucking here in town as a mechanic there. He also worked as an excavator, and most recently he's worked for the Village of Jackson for their DPW for the last just short of 4 years. They only have a DPW there. They don't have a parks crew per se, but he is their parks person. And then when I called up Kelly Valentino, the park and rec director there, who I've known since I've been professional, her first response was, "Oh no," because she didn't want to lose him. So. Kurt, he came in yesterday. He volunteered his time to come in to get shown around a little bit. Charlie showed him some of his plowing route and some of the intricacies of his position. So I think that speaks for Kurt's work ethic to volunteer his time, come in before he needs to. So we're excited about having him.
Nice. Anything for Randy on the hire?
120 applicants, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
So, I mean, and what we were looking for, obviously, park experience, cemetery experience, machine operator. You know, a CDL was important, but it wasn't the end-all, and I would say at least a third of those applicants had a CDL. Try to keep it local. We did interview a couple people that were outside of the immediate area. And even, you know, Kurt being West Bend, that's probably about the limit that we would look for someone if they weren't looking to relocate, even though that's not a responsibility that someone has to do. But when you're getting called at 2 a.m. to come in and plow, it's important that you're accessible and be able to get to town. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So is his first date?
He'll begin January 16th. So Charlie retires that Friday.
He's
And
back on
Monday?
Monday.
Wow.
I mean,
There's no snowstorms on the 14th or 15th.
let's hope not.
Right, Joe. That's right, Joe. Yep.
All right, next on the agenda is rec programs and activities. Melanie, what do you got for us?
First, the fitness classes.
Well,
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zach, sorry.
session one of the fitness classes start on the week of January 9th. Most of our classes are filled. There are a couple that aren't up to the maximum capacity, but we're looking to run those starting the 9th.
And then for my end, I do have the Valentine Banner Youth Craft. We will be running that. We have 3 registered. We can take up to 8. So there is still some time to register for that. It is being held on January 14th. Snowed in at the movies. We are doing that once again. We are working with the high school, Peers for Peers, and Elevate will be helping us out for that. They've already found, or started the process of finding people for bringing in some food and getting some donations for that. Movies will be announced closer to the date, but that is taking place the night of January 27th and into the early morning of January 28th. It is open to all high school students, so they need to show their ID in order to come in. And then everyone that comes needs to also have a permission form signed as well.
And we're looking for any adult volunteers willing to help out, so if
Yep.
anyone wants to answer my challenge and wake up at 3 in the morning to give Melanie some backup, I'm a morning person, so I told her I'll come in when you're probably at your sleepiest, and and I also promised, having worked this event, I told her she'll be able to leave and I will stay that extra hour for that child that doesn't get picked up right away, which happens annually, so.
Nice.
Any and all volunteers will be helpful.
Okay.
And then finally, Pee Wee gym class. This starts on January 21st, runs for 5 weeks. It is a small class, so there's only 15 that can be signed up. We only have 2, but we are pushing that right now to get more signed up. And hopefully we can get that filled by the 21st.
Okay. And a report on adult and youth sports, specifically the Winter Adult Volleyball League.
So Winter Adult Volleyball League, we are officially halfway through. We have some pretty close standings on there. And I mean, it seems to be running decently smoothly, a few hiccups, but otherwise, I mean, we're in the second half, so we're getting there.
Pee Wee Soccer.
Pee Wee Soccer also starts January 21st, directly after the gym class. We already have 11 registered with 20 able to be signed up. So we're hoping that that gets filled pretty quick. Pee Wee Soccer typically has a good following, so we're hoping that'll be filled.
And I can't believe this is on the agenda, but youth ball registration.
Youth ball registration begins February 1st. So as always, looking for volunteer coaches from parents, and I'm actually excited to see the process from begin to end this year.
Yeah,
So
right.
looking forward to it.
And we're also looking for team sponsorships.
Yes.
So if anybody knows of businesses looking to sponsor a team, I believe is it 125 a team? 100?
I think it's 125 now.
Okay, yeah. And that sponsors a team, uniforms, gets your business's logo on the back of the shirt. Kids will wear them to games and usually out and about around town as well.
All right, then aquatics, no report for aquatics here on vets, but Signacast, we have the Rubber Duck Day.
Yep, so Friday, January 13th, during our normal 6:30 to 8:30 open swim on Friday, we're gonna have National Rubber Duck Day, where we put all the rubber ducks we have in our toys in the pool. All of them will have numbers on the bottom, and then kids can go and grab them, and certain numbers will correspond to certain prizes that we're gonna be organizing.
All right, and then tell us about winter/spring session 1 swim lessons.
Yep, so our current fall session 2 of swim lessons on next week. For this session 1, which starts January 16th, we were pretty booked on availability, so we were actually able to have enough staff to add 4 more classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, luckily, and that session will go until March 11th.
Okay. Parks reports, we have the ice rink report.
So, as you may have seen, the borders are up for both rinks, one at Willowbrook and the other one at Vets. We don't have the tarps in quite yet. We don't put those in until we fill it with water, and you don't just, so like today, or the extended forecast when it's gonna be upper 30s, you can't just have that out there and fill it with water and wait for it to freeze. You get air bubbles and other vandalism with that. So I know it was frustrating for some families. We received some calls over the holidays when we had that cold stretch. People were wondering where the ice rinks were. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get those up. And again, looking for some frost, some cold temperatures, and extended cold temperatures along with that. Overcast is what we're looking for too, because even if it's 15 degrees out, if that sun's out, that sun's warm and it will melt the ice. So fingers crossed for that. And then, we're thinking about what we'll do down the line here with future options for ice rinks, talking over with staff. I've talked with many of you individually, of course, not as a group, about what we would do in the future, possibly utilizing the mill pond next year after the completion of Centennial Park. There's, for lack of better terms, a retention pond off of Wilson Avenue that we're keeping an eye on this year. It's actually a very nice shape. Ben Forrester, member of the Parks crew, had mentioned it, brought it up, so we're kind of keeping tabs on that to see if that's a possibility for next year. One hiccup we did discover is someone was ice fishing on it.
I saw a guy out there. He had a shanty on there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And we don't think we
Blew
saw the
my
shanty.
mind. The guy was sitting out there with a
So-
shanty. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
That's crazy. Yeah. Sorry.
So
Whoever that was,
we'll
it's
be
not
keeping
crazy,
our eyes
God
on
bless
it.
you, but it's,
Yeah, it is.
it's funny.
Somebody's gonna get a call now.
All right, what do you got for West Side Park dugouts?
Met with Scott Helms, who's not here tonight, obviously, along with Jordan Stevens of the Hawks, and then Jason Brown, the club president for baseball. We all met separately concerning dugout construction, seeing what can get done this year, trying to get that process started. We do have some money set aside in our CIP for this year. So basically, the meeting kicked off with us just trading ideas to make sure we're all on the same page of what we want and what we want to see. I don't think it's any secret that Scott in the high school would like to see more done than just the dugouts. He's got a greater vision for that site. Problem being is, how do you finance that? But I definitely think the dugouts this year are doable. Again, so they're reaching out to their resources, trying to come up with a rough sketch of what we think this will look like, get a material list, and then one of the things we're going to be relying on is volunteer person power, we'll call it, with people that have trade skills, work in the trades, connections with either the high school or the club or in the city. That's where we're going to plan on saving our funds, and then obviously do what we can get to get sponsorships and or donated materials just to help the project along, to see what we can get done. And obviously it won't happen prior to this baseball season, but have a plan in place and get construction started as soon as the season's over, late August, early September.
All right, Parks project report?
Overall, December seemed to fly by again. As you see, our list is short. We got the ice rinks up. We repaired the membrane itself, brought it into the gym. It was actually in pretty good condition. Other than that, we've had burials have stayed consistent. A little bit of snow removal, a little bit of salting, but otherwise it was kind of a quiet December.
Well, that cold spell didn't help much either.
No, it did not. And ill-timed as well with the,
Holidays.
yes.
All right, and park shelter reservations?
Starts on January 16th. Anything you want to add to that, Sarah?
If anybody's listening, you can call on that Monday. If you have a shelter and date in mind, we can pencil you in for a week. That gives you some time to get the appropriate form and payment to us. Or you can come in on Monday and we'll book it right away for you. Graduation season will be up soon.
Yeah. All right, anything on your mind tonight? Any commission requests?
Keep in mind, traditionally, I think February is our facility tour of the rec center,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken on that. So if there's, we'll take you through the whole building, but if there's specific areas you wanted to talk about, I think one of the areas we'll focus on is the Signacast pool, just with so many CIP projects happening in there for this year. We'll go through that and show you some of the problem areas and what exactly we'll be doing. Yeah.
Good.
So Randy, would you do that on a day other than that, that proposed February 8th meeting?
We would consider that, yeah, especially if a commissioner would, if it's important that they want to be there.
No, I'm just asking if you were thinking that it'd be done that day, the day of the meeting or
Yeah,
some
so it'd be
other day.
similar to like the parks tour.
Yeah, okay.
Quick meeting
Yep.
and then you get to the tour.
No, that's fine. I mean, you guys, there's no problem.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, so let's just include that right away in your email tomorrow.
Yep,
Meeting and,
facility tour.
yep.
Yep.
All right, then I look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ken,
Second.
second by John. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.